Extinction is the dying out or elimination of a species from Earth. There can be several reasons for extinction, both environmental and evolutionary. Environmental forces range from global changes to overexploitation of the species, while evolutionary changes include poor reproduction and genetic inbreeding. Many animals and plants have become extinct from the face of this world over these years. It is believed that 30 to 50% of the remaining species will be lost by the middle of the 21st century. Human-induced extinction has increased 1,000 times, with scientists calling these modern years the sixth mass extinction. The dinosaurs were once believed to be walking on Earth just like any other animal, and now all we find are their remains. They are the best example of the biggest mass extinction, but we don't have any video or images from that time, so we don't have any visual evidence of their existence. This has changed since the invention of photography. Now we have more than just the fossil remains of animals that have gone extinct. Here are the last photos or videos of animals that are now believed to be completely extinct. Number 1. The Baiji Dolphin. Baiji is also known as the Chinese river dolphin with the scientific name Lipotus vexillifer. It is known to be the first dolphin that humans have driven to extinction. The Baiji was a dolphin with a stocky body and rounded flippers. Its most distinctive feature was its long, narrow beak, which was a little bit upturned. This bluish-gray dolphin had tiny eyes and poor eyesight. They lived in groups of 2 to 6. As the human exploitation along the Yangtze River increased, so did the noise pollution with thousands of boats using the river daily. As the Baiji used echolocation to find their way around, it became extremely difficult for them to survive. And then what made it worse was the construction of the Three Gorges Dam. The Baiji was declared extinct in December of 2006, following an intense and carefully managed survey of the entire Yangtze River, which failed to find even one Baiji dolphin. The survey went on for another 6 weeks. Since then, there have been no verified sightings of the dolphin, which makes us conclude that we have lost them forever, and humankind is entirely to blame. The extinction of the Baiji also marks the extinction of the entire ancient Lipotide family the Baiji represented. Number 2. The Thylacine. The Thylacine, or called the marsupial wolf or the Tasmanian tiger, was the largest carnivorous marsupial of recent times and was presumed extinct soon after the last captive individual died in 1936. It was a fox-faced animal that hunted wallabies and birds. It weighed about 15 to 30 kilograms with yellowish-brown fur. It looked similar to a dog but with the characteristics of a marsupial. The Thylacine had been found on the Australian mainland. Dingoes were not the only creature to push them towards extinction. Hunters played a role too. The Thylacine was widely hunted by European settlers as it was considered a threat to domestic sheep. It started becoming rare by 1914, and the last known living specimen died in captivity in the Hobart Zoo in 1936. It is believed to have disappeared from the wild only 2 years after that. Since then, multiple sightings of the creature have been recorded, with one very convincing one in 2008 in southwest Victoria. Many researchers have tried to clone the Thylacine, hoping we might be able to retrieve it back one day. Number 3. The Laysan Rail. The flightless Laysan Rail, also known as the Laysan Crake, belonged to the Laysan Island in northwest Hawaii. It existed abundantly during the late 1800s all the way up to the early 20th century. The Laysan breed had a restricted population with very little area. These earthbound little creatures were omnivores, and they feasted on insects, eggs of seabirds, seeds, and green vegetables. The pale brown-feathered vertebrae were only 6 inches or 15 centimeters long. The rail was first threatened by the introduction of domestic rabbits to Laysan. As there were no hunters or predators present on the island to control the number of rabbits, they ate all of the vegetation, leaving the island barren, which resulted in the eradication of the both Laysan honeycreeper and Laysan miller bird. When the destruction began, there were around 2,000 mature birds, but after the 1910s, their numbers started to decline. By 1923, just 2 birds could be found on Laysan, and 2 died out of the 8 bought from Midway due to the absence of food and shelter. It is assumed they became extinct during 1923, as not enough nesting ground was left, but they were still doing well on Midway until World War II, when Navy ships released rats onto the island. The inception of the black rats on the Midway Atoll started initiating the extinction of these growing birds. Therefore, these birds became a rare sight to nature. The last rail was spotted in Eastern Island in Midway in June of 1944, and then later on reported extinct by the IUCN Red List. The extinction of the rail is regrettable, as it could have easily been avoided. Number 4. The West African black rhinoceros. In several countries to the southeast region of Africa, the now extinct species of the West African black rhinoceros was found. This gigantic animal was 3.8 meters long and 1.7 meters tall, with a whopping weight of 800 to 1,300 kilograms. The other physical features included 2 horns of different lengths, one 0.5 to 1.3 centimeters, and the other anywhere between 2 to 55 centimeters. These huge animals fed on leafy plants and shoots. Some people believed that their horns had medicinal qualities, which resulted in heavy hunting of the rhinos, even though the fact was never proven. To safeguard these 2-horned rhinos, action was taken in the 1930s. Still, the species kept dwindling, and the last one was sighted in Cameroon in 2006. And in 2011, they were officially declared extinct. Poachers became the reason for the eradication of the poor-sighted rhinoceros, who would kill them for the expensive horns that were then used in traditional Chinese medicine till they became extinct. Number 5. Splendid poison frog. The splendid poison frog, also known as the splendid poison arrow frog, was a species of poison dart frog belonging to western Panama. The species was first placed on the IUCN's Red List of Endangered Species in 2004 and has since maintained this designation. They are the brightest colored frog in the world. These bright colors serve as a warning to predators that they're toxic, as their diets secrete toxins on their skin. They used to live in humid lowlands and were once considered widespread and abundant. The reason for the extinction of this species was deforestation and damage to their natural habitats. Other threats included human ventures, such as logging, expansion of city areas, and establishing rail lines which impacted their population significantly. These frogs were often hunted for trafficking in the pet market trade. The splendid poison frog was last spotted in the wild in 1992, as it fell victim to the chytrid fungus and was finally declared extinct in 2020. Number 6. The dodo. On the beautiful island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean once lived the non-flying terrestrial birds known as the dodo. The dodo weighed about 23 kilograms, roughly 50 pounds, with an oversized head and blue-gray fur. Portuguese sailors discovered them in the early 1500s and then became their reason for the extinction. They would hunt them down for meat, and the dodos were an easy source of food. The dodo's fate was further sealed by mammals of the island, which would consistently raid their nests and take their eggs. This holocaust caused the birds to deteriorate, and the last one was killed in 1681. Unfortunately, not even bone specimens were preserved for scientific research, or to be kept in a museum. It's unbelievably sad that all we have left are some photographs and video footage of these now extinct animals. The crisis of animal extinction continues even to this day. Most of the threats faced by these now endangered animals are caused by humans. From poaching to hunting to deforestation and global warming, all of these human activities are putting more and more species in danger of collapse. Just as we threaten and endanger species by pushing them to the brink of extinction, through our activities we also have the power to save them from it too.